Hello, hello, hello. We're back. Just about. I'm trying to actually work this out because it's been a while. If you could let me know in the time-honored tradition whether you can see me, hear me, all of that type of stuff. Most importantly, hear me. It's a new setup. I've got a new audio controller. I've never used it. Samuel, how are you doing? Let us know if you can hear us, mate. Slides as well. If you're there as well, let us know. That would be very much appreciated. Sound, Samuel. Cheers. That is good to see and hear. Yeah, we're back today. We're just going to do just to ease myself back into it. Really, I think that's what we're doing. I've got plenty of stuff to talk about, like an absolute belt about County Durham, the Reform Party, and a swan, which is very, very topical given what Farage has been saying recently. Loads of stuff, loads of positive stuff. Also, feel free to just ask us things in the comments as well. That would be very helpful. I'm just trying to find my feet with this. Obviously, it's been a while. Yes, Jez Hunt, come on, lad, get in the back of the net. I've just remembered I can actually put these things on the screen. There he is, the Grandmaster's back. Slaz in the house, Samuel as well. There you go. And that's how deep it goes, right? I have forgotten some of the features of StreamYard. Joanne G, nice to see you. Wonderful. Jez is, are you in a sauna? Kinda. Sun shining through the window, and I'm just not used to it. Got a jumper on as well. So I would actually like a sauna. It would feel good. Was Morris in the actual area? Harry, pal, how are you keeping? Brilliant. It's nice to see people joining. What I'm going to do is I've got a brew here, right? Because honestly, I was trying to work this out right to the wire. Go on, Slaz, rock and the sauna crack as well. Before I do, I'm going to put a little the music on and have a brew while people join. You can probably tell I'm a bit gargly of throat. I'm still recovering. Let us just tell you this actually. In March, obviously in the preceding time before that, I developed a big cyst on my lower back. We're a bit worried about it. It's a huge lump. It was so big it had a shadow, like for real. So if you imagine that like above the skin and then below the skin, and it was stuck in one of my major back muscles, lat dorsi. And obviously, you can imagine as that built up under the skin over years. This is related to long COVID, by the way. It's like basically my immune system was absolutely wrecked. So what happens is I couldn't clear any waste, and that was why I was so fatigued. So what's happening now is with all this gargly stuff, I have like a permanent headache because a lot of the viral waste and fluid is now leaving my body. So taking you back to March, what happened, and this was 2 days before my birthday, it burst. And by burst, I mean exploded. And it exploded all over the bathroom tiles, and there was loads of it. And it was all like pus. But it wasn't just pus, right? It stank. And it stank, I'm not joking, of rotten fish and cheese. Rotten cheese, and that's called keratin, and that's like just all this like horrible like waste stuff. And what had happened is, right, my immune system was so fucked. I've swore. I was really going to try hard this time not to swear as much because like we want to try and build the channel for the elections and stuff going forward. Keep us read. The odd one's fine, but not like last time. So anyway, Jez stops eating porridge. Strap yourself in. So basically, this stuff stinks. And then what happens after that is, right, obviously it starts to close up. And I'm fortunate to have my partner to help us treat the stuff. I smelled of that cheese, like obviously it would recede over the months as all of this stuff was leaving my body. And what it did is it switched on the clearance system in my body again after being so ill. And it was coming out of my face. You know how you got like blocked pores on your nose and that? One night they all just like burst, like came out of my skin. This is a couple of months later, and the process is still going on. I stopped smelling of horrible rotten fish and cheese. Seriously, it was grim. Changed me clothes like 2 and 3 times a day. So that's what's been going on for months. But this is good, believe it or not, because finally we've got it cleared. And that didn't just happen in a vacuum. I've been obviously working hard at this, research and supplements and all of this stuff. I'm hoping to share all of that kind of stuff, like going forward, if the fatigue's gone. And obviously I can write the guide, I can write my book, I can do all of these things that I've not been able to do. So I'm chuffed, but it's been a nightmare. And it, obviously, as you know, if you've been around for a while, it's been a constant thing. And this is why I keep saying, wear your masks. It might sound like your stern granddad here or something, but I've been through this and I'm coming out of it, and I'm one of the lucky ones in the sense that I've managed to somehow pull through it. I know people who probably will never pull through, you know. I've had to make tremendous sacrifices to just get to this point, sitting in front of the microphone now. So I don't think like apologizing for not being around is the right thing to do. I've had to do aggressive rest. There's just no other way for it. Like that or bad times. Matty's here. My eyebrows are magnificent. Mine are even better than yours. I actually use one of those, you know, them brusher things. Because Strites would be like, remember Dennis Healy, the old, you had them tweezly mad, like warlock ones. That's what mine would look like unless I indulged in the male grooming, you know. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can find the music that I would normally put on while I have a brew. Hey, this is a blast from the past, isn't it? That's if it's still in the dock. Why, I think they've got some new ones. There's loads of new features on StreamYard as well. My eyebrows are magnificent. Listen to this. Oh, God. So it's nice to be back. I've got no lighting set up or anything. But that's all right. You don't need that. So. Right. Enough. Let's get into it. A few more comments. If you've just arrived, let us know. Snowy Adams in the area. Oh, I picked the wrong one. All right, Snowy, nice to see you, pal. If you're about, speak up in the comments. Jez. That's gross, like a full body shit. It was horrendous. I was basically turned into a big, long poo, like a long pig, but made out of poo. That's basically what I felt. So you can probably understand why I thought best stay out of this one. But no, in all seriousness, though, what it does is it overtaxes your immune system and you're just constantly tired. And it was ridiculous and you just couldn't predict it. And I thought I'd got past all of that. But what I'd done is I'd got to the point where I was healthy enough where my body could start clearing all of the stuff. And that's why it ended up coming to the surface and bursting. It's just been coming out of it most pores. I honestly stank. I felt disgusting. Night times as well, every night sweats. There was some nights that I would wake up. They've gone now, by the way, thankfully, like in a cold sweat. And imagine having to change your bed twice in the night. It's the washing and the extra graft when you're tired and that as well. It's just absolutely wrong, you know. But the North will do nothing but rise again. Indeed. So today, Reform voters and swans. I don't think it's widely known that this person who done this thing to the swan is a Reform voter. However, it's from 3 or 4 miles from where I grew up. I didn't need to use any of me investigative journalism stuff. I didn't mention that. So I think since I last did a show, I've qualified with the BBC and AFP, which is the French version of the BBC, Agence France Presse, master certificate in advanced digital investigation techniques, and a master certificate in data journalism. And I swear to God, the BBC one, it was condensed into a week. It should have took 2 months. And I was so sick when I was doing it. I was like, I've just got to sit here and keep myself up. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it if my partner hadn't helped us afterwards, just like with the basics of life. That was a graft, but I did it. I mentioned this as well in a post a few months ago, I think. And this is that I'm working on, which is the imposter syndrome of doing this and being from a working class area, and all of that imbues you with. It's not for people like us. So, won an award for best live stream of the year, and I was finalist in an award and went out at the same time as Andrew Feinstein, which for me was just crazy because I respect him a lot. He's been on the show before, as you know, which was the Tenacious Journalist Award, and it was for my work on disinformation. That's some of you have seen via this show. Do you know what? In the middle of all of the illness and all that, I was like, yeah. Like, that's what it does to you, brings you right down. And it was only, I guess, when I was starting to come out of that, I was like, getting my confidence back. It's hard to have confidence in yourself when you've been sick for so long, you know. And so I did those things, and I was really sick. This story, actually, I'll just tell you this as well. We'll have a catch up before we start the other stuff. Right. How do I even put this? I applied for Harvard and Stanford. And I was so sick on that night that I applied for Harvard. It was just after me beloved dog Zeb died, and then just after that, my other beloved dog DJ, he died in 2 weeks, and that was like coming up to nearly a year. It was around Halloween time last year. You can imagine in the middle of this, that was horrific. So I was doing this Harvard application off the back of that. So the top and bottom of it is, I got a lovely email from them, right? And this was from Harvard, and it was a day before. It was the day before they sued the Trump government, and I put the application in, obviously, before the election. And it was for a journalism fellowship, you know, and that was a big leap for me in terms of the imposter syndrome. And I swear to God, and if you're listening, me 3 references, they're all big hitters in the field. You'll not know who they are, I don't think, but like, you know, they've all, and the references they gave us, they made us cry. Because you don't see yourself when you're sick, you know, and I was in the middle of that, and reading those was lush. So, you know, anyway, I got the email from Harvard. It was lovely, and it was quite veiled, like, really like your stuff. Do you want to apply in the future? And I went and sued Trump, and the reason is, right, in my proposal to them, it was to expand on the disinformation work that I got awards for. And I named Kash Patel before he was named the FBI, Dan Bongino, and it was all around like these podcasters. So can you imagine though, right? I was going to apply the year before, and I would be there now. Or, well, I wouldn't. I'd be in friggin', where is it? Where Bukaki is, the president, El Salvador. Nah. And like, look, there's been people lifted at the border for way less than the shit I've talked over the years, as you know. So my partner high-fived after that email, because everything kind of spiraled out of control after the application went in. It was a mad one. So I will be applying again in the future, but America really needs to get itself sorted out first. I'm not really wanting to be in the dog boxes, you know. The land of the free, the home of the brave, and that's where I couldn't go. There's all kinds been going on, obviously, as you can imagine. Well, I've been doing the old aggressive rest and that, but I've just still been trying to progress things. And some of the things I'll show you as we move forward, and some of the things just for a laugh. You tell me as well in the comments how you've been. Shouts to Bean76. Good to see you back. You look well. I do, mate. I'm really chuffed. I'm feeling fit. Over the summer, I went and stayed with my mum and my dad for a while, actually, because obviously my partner's waiting on a new house, which is going to be great because I'm going to actually build a studio in it, and we're going to be there for, you know, on a permanence as well. So just fantastic. I'll be able to actually like make the studio look great. Sorry, I'm going to be a bit goggly like this for a couple of weeks. If you missed the start of the show, I'm not going to repeat it because I think people are just cleaning the vomit up. But I'm just telling you about why I've been sick and why I've been resting. But it's just part of what this is now. It'll improve in the next couple of weeks. I'm really close to the end. Jez Hunt, Purcell and Bongino, Total Triangles, completely, pal. Completely. Matty, it was a joy to see you recently, Broskin. Absolutely, Matty. You're one of my favourite people on earth. I tell you that to your face. I'll tell you that on and offline. Just absolutely love you. For those who don't know, Matty helped me dog who he basically, without Matty, he would never have got to the age he got to because of his epilepsy, and I'll always be eternally grateful, as will my family. Rustina Del Pierce, nice. Greetings. Your audio is breaking up, by the way. Is the audio breaking up for anybody else? Right, hold on a minute. I know what it is. I'll be able to figure this out. I've got like, yeah, I see it. I've got it here. I'm just gonna keep this right, yeah, because I have not trimmed this before on this audio M-Track solo is what I've got. So I'm just gonna go to the end of the comments. So the audio breakups aren't consistent. Yeah, it's clipping. If I turn this right down like this, if you could let us know straight away whether that's clipping anymore, and also more to the point, whether you can actually hear us in the same way. Because again, this one today is about just getting this right. It's about just getting this dialed in. So what we got? Rob Murphy. Hi, bud. Welcome back. Mine's fine. Cheers, Rob. Always a pleasure, sir. Anybody else? Audio good, low volume. Okay. Slaz, is this better? I'm gonna be able to trim these outputs properly, but this particular one here, I've gone quiet. Right, I'm gonna turn it back up, right, and just let us know, right, if it can clip as we go on. I'm gonna keep the comments up on the screen so I can see them. But as I say, we're just trying to get this right today, Still low. Okay, back up. Right, initial turn down was spot on. Right, I'm gonna talk. Hello. So you just keep us right in the comments, and then obviously I'll get that dialed in. We'll be sweet going forward. What I'm hoping is, just in terms of the show, in the first instance, I think coming back to 5 days a week is a mistake, and it's probably going to bust us up. You probably don't know. Every morning that I wake up, I don't have a plan other than the research that I constantly do. So I look at what might be topic, and I look at what might be funny, and all that, and then just bing, put it in and do it. That takes a hell of a lot of work. Also, as well, what we're going to do this time, we're going to do this properly. Thanks, Jez, for saying it's better. We're going to do this properly. I've never done this properly before, and what that means is do the lives, clip out clips, and post them up, build the YouTube channel. What we're trying to do, right, is we're trying to build this platform properly alongside me good health towards the next elections. It's going to be more important than ever to have a whole range of platforms on the left, which are going to challenge these things. And it's one of the reasons why I told you at the top of the show that I've done the BBC and AFP courses. I have a very specific set of skills. So basically, we have the upper hand because we're looking to sort of disseminate that work, build it up, bring people on, bring people in from working class environments, and people would normally get opportunities as well. So that's why I want to build the platform. Some people you know, some people you don't. I'm going to be, as I say, be able to do that, do the algorithms properly, all of that stuff. And I've been researching a lot into that and actually doing courses on it and stuff as well. Jono is here. Ahoy, Harry Pal. Snowy has shared it, the People's Republic Liverpool group. Very much appreciated. Absolutely love Scousers. And if there's any Scousers dropping in, I used to live there, the Seaforth Crosby border, just the wrong side of the tracks. Love it. Love Scouse. Just love it. It's just like Newcastle and Glasgow, another place I've lived. Just very similar people. Just great crack. Spare with us. That's that thing I was telling you about. Yeah. Right. I'm going to stick a video in. I'm just going to play it and let us know what you think in the comments, and let us know what you think of this guy, somebody who you know, who has been on the show before. It's your boy, Zach Polanski. And also tell us whether this plays properly as well, because, it's a trial. We're just working the stream out again, aren't we? See you in a bit.
I grew up in the north, not far from here. I remember I used to wake up with this hopeful feeling, not like I was in a cornflakes advert or anything, but there was something in the air back then, a kind of ordinary hope. I've spent the last 5 years up and down the country, listening to people on streets like this. I'm not sure we feel like that anymore. There's more a hopelessness. People who are too tired to fight, too tired to sleep, kids going to bed hungry, parents lying awake in the next room knowing, powerless to change things. And people say to me, hey Zach, you're the leader of a political party, what are you lot going to do about this? And I say, we need a fair taxation system. We need to tax the people with the broadest shoulders in a fair way, but they cut me off. Hey, I'm a plumber. I've been working 30 years. I'm finally doing okay. Why are you making me the problem? Or a hairdresser. I've just opened my first hair salon. Why are you taxing me? Why are you taxing my ambition? And I wondered, why did they think I was talking about them? And now I get it. It's because it's too hard to picture. You see, there are some people in this country, when they go to sleep at night, they lay their heads on the pillows, just like us. They lie in the same darkness we do. But when they sleep, something happens. It's like the economy does a little dance for them. And when they wake up, without working a third job or doing an extra shift, they are richer, much richer. In one night's sleep, they make more than the plumber and the hairdresser could earn in an entire year. More than this whole street earns in an entire year. More than this whole beautiful neighborhood could earn in an entire year. In one night's sleep without lifting a finger. That's why it's so difficult to imagine. It's obscene. That's why we need a wealth tax. Not on plumbers, not on small businesses, not on ambition. Just a 1% tax on the assets of the super rich will help reduce inequality, give us warmer homes, an NHS that works, free and universal childcare and air our kids can breathe. And by the way, if anyone tries to say to you, won't the super rich just leave? A more equal society, it's good for them too. Since the pandemic began, billionaire wealth in this country has doubled. Meanwhile, millions use food banks and warm banks as a lifeline. Some politicians seem confused. Do they serve the billionaires or do they serve you? I'm not confused. Ordinary people can't wait any longer. I'm here to make this call, but I can't do it alone. Will you stand with me? Let's bring back that feeling and make hope normal again.
Good at this, isn't he? Very good indeed. So what are you thinking? What are you saying? JC, none of that one. Nice to see you, pal. Welcome back. Good to see you up in here as well. Slaz, quite simply, eat the rich. Nice. So, the reason I want to put Zach's latest one up, he's really good at it, isn't he? Like, we've been waiting for a communicator like this on the left for how long? How long? Remember when we were doing this and we were turning up here together every day and I was powering through the long COVID and all of that, and we had Zach on and all of that type of stuff. Back then, none of this now seemed possible, and we would all snap people's hands off. I kind of not put Matty's vegan comment on the screen because, like, he is a vegan and he just vegans it up all the time. It's just a run joke. Love it. You call that radio's made a good start, no doubt. Indeed, he has. And it's something important to acknowledge there. Like, Zach hasn't really put a foot wrong. But, look, we shouldn't ever be complacent, and it shouldn't ever be about one person. He'd probably say that himself. But at the end of the day, people can turn out in different ways, and this, that, and the third. And this is why I've been saying it's about bringing talent through. So there's a whole range of people like Zach. And if we look at the Corbyn era and whatever, that just didn't happen. And I'm not going to go in on Corbyn. We all know about your party and all that. You know why? Because we haven't got time. Like, if your party and all that catch up, brilliant. It'll be an absolute asset. But we're on a train now, and I am absolutely going to help the Greens in any way I can. Why? Because on a personal level, up and down the country, from the leader across the board, all over the party, I've never had a bad experience. I wrote about this yesterday. This is just a verbal version of that, really, and it is a Green Party appreciation oratory at this point. It's genuinely given me some hope, but I am cautious. You know, I understand that people can let you down, and I think that's a lot of pressure for one man to have. One thing you might not be aware of, which I don't see happening across the left, is the Greens Pathway to Parliament programme, and the people have signed up to that, and it's been happening. I think it's going to be happening soon. The closing date was like this week or something. So opportunities are opening up. You know, you're seeing the party opening up in that regard, and they're approaching 90,000 members, and they've exceeded the Lib Dems. So, you know, it's on a train, and I want to win. And I honestly think we can absolutely do bits because we do have time. But this time, we've got to understand it's not just going to be enough to just vote. Like, one of the things that you know, because you were here for, and I was acknowledged for by my peers in the industry, is the work on disinformation. And particularly from a working class perspective, that wasn't being done. And I feel like I'm being heard on that within a political structure. Some of you might know I did meet with a range of Greens about clean air. Zach, people who stood for the mayoralty, you know, lots of people. And people are thinking about it. I mean, Zach recently mentioned long COVID on a TV interview. Great. I need to hear that. Like, one thing that long COVID people or survivors, or whatever you want to call it, it's traumatizing what happens to you, but it's traumatizing how people just don't want to even acknowledge the thing that could have killed you. It's weird and a bit sinister, but that's okay because I'm better now and I'm going to take massive revenge. Now I'm joking. I haven't got time for that either. What I want is for everybody to have what they need and a little bit more, and that'll never change. So whatever vehicle comes along, used to be the Corbyn thing, now it's the Greens, whatever electoral vehicle, because there's another range of stuff going on. That's what I'm going to do, as long as I think people are in good faith. And the experience I've had with the Greens, good faith. Look at that, just to change gears slightly, look at their conference this weekend and what they've voted in, effective abolition of landlordism. I'm going to clarify that in a bit. Elaine Francis from the South Shields Green Party kindly shared the resolution on our social media yesterday. She was one of the proposers of this. Also, they voted to prescribe the IDF as a terrorist organization as well. So again, we must defend them at all costs because we know what happens next. So I understand the cynicism and I feel it and I hear it, and I'm not surprised. I mean, look at how much we've been messed about by people who should be our electoral representatives. It's been bad, hasn't it? But we can win. I'm not here to lose. That kind of gentler thing last time has its place, yeah. As soon as I heard that come out of Corbyn's mouth, I was like, we're screwed. Because that just gets twisted up by these bad people. So this time, do no harm, take no shit. I believe Zach calls it bold politics. I call it do no harm, take no shit. Take no shit. None. I mean, we've seen the absolute plight of things and we'll have to change it. Look at Palestine. Look at, we need people, more and more people elected to speak up for what's right, for humanity, for our quality of life, for the quality of life of people around the world as well. I mean, the UK can be a leader in that, you know, if we elect the right people. And also, I need you to know this, and I can't say how I know, but I've had sight of things, polls, regarding reform, and as they stand, I'm not just talking like public ones, like granular ones, and it's bad. We're talking even the northeast, like aside from a few areas, it could be an across the board thing for reform. So that's what we're dealing with. However, we have the time. So we have to acknowledge voting just isn't going to be enough this time. And I want to give a big shout out to the people in the northeast who, Sarah in South Jesmond, she won that seat from Labour for the Greens by 55 seats. And there was, I think, 11 or 12 people like via our community agreed to step up and they helped out. And I mean, it's things like that. It could be said that won 56 votes. You know, I know Jamie Driscoll and Majority, they were helping as well. So, you know, as you can see, there's a model of people coalescing and coming together from across the left to target a particular seat and go, right, we're going to help. And that's what I'm talking about. But I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about, I didn't go and do these BBC and AFP courses to just sit there and go, oh, isn't that good? Aren't I great? We want to use that. And what that means is it's not just about like knocking on doors and being on the ground. Online, I think I've got a slide or two for later. And what I mean is we're losing. We should be in those local news comment sections. We should organise just like the Fash have. They own Reddit, basically. The United Kingdom subreddit, and they've done this over time. And a lot of this came from Steve Bannon's War Room podcast, telling people to go out and get these admin things, take these big forums, all of that. I've got so many screenshots from people like Greens and whatever posting in these forums, and they're just getting removed on spurious stuff. And they're talking to the admins, and the admins are just basically full of it. So that's what we're dealing with. There's messaging, and we need to work out new ways of getting that out. And I acknowledge totally, especially from when I was speaking to volunteers for the Greens in South Jesmond and send them on to Sarah. Some people can't do the online, the knocking on doors and shoe leather stuff. It could be disabilities, it could be time, childcare, whatever. But they do have time to sit in front of the computer. So that's one of the things that I do want to do. I want to, 2 seconds, I'm just going to put, Stephen Jackson, cheers, pal. It's what I want to do because I've analysed it and I hope you trust us. That's how we're going to win. It's not just like, oh, you know, we're going to do our best and whatever. I think we can win. I think if there's communicators like Zach there, we need more Zachs. We need to bring people in so they feel confident enough to speak like he does, because he's just a man. You know, I think put the brakes on deification. I know when we're bereft of hope, we want to put people on pedestals and whatever. I think that's dangerous after Corbyn. It's cost years because people wouldn't talk about, well, the things he wasn't doing. And how long has that dragged on? I mean, yesterday on the Facebook page, I shared something I wrote 2 years ago where I was saying there's been ample enough time to set up a new party. Fast forward to now, your party's a bargain. Now, I understand things take time, and I'm not shitting on them because I want to work with them going forward, and I'm sure you do too. And it's not an us and them thing. The top and bottom of it is this. The model we're building towards is a left bloc like the French. I've said this many times in writing. I'll say it again here. I was in France doing my AFP course when all of that kicked off, right? And they did like unified bloc of the left. They got slightly more won the left bloc, and it kind of stalled the march of the Fash, right? There's no other way. There's no other way to defeat the propaganda. There's no other way to inspire people. We have to build unity. So I'm not going to spend my time writing scathing invectives about Corbyn and Sultana and your party and all that. I get it. I understand people's egos and all of that. But I think they've like got a little bit of a bloody nose from the wider like community. Never mind just the left. It's like, what the hell do you think you're doing? This isn't about you. And I'll leave it there. I don't think it serves anything. We all know the problem. We've all seen what's happened. But I'll bring you back to when we were last doing these shows, right? When we were last doing these shows, we were craving for a political vehicle. People weren't convinced by the Greens. They were beating down all that. Look at it now. The Greens are hardly like sort of, second best option. Fantastic. I think people are seeing that too. So let's be positive, I mean, I'm not dead. That's a positive thing. I'm looking healthy, as somebody said before. Really appreciate that. I'm happy. So, however, that would just lift ourselves and go again, because we're just gonna like let the fash have the thing. We can do this. I'm doing this. I mean, look, there's many other things that I could be doing, and going forward probably will be doing as well as this. But it's important that we build these platforms. You might have seen us sharing Screaming at the Void, a new Facebook page. There's a lad who is a regular on the page doing that. These are the things that I'm saying. Let's share all of these platforms like Glasgow, Haggis, Horse School. If I missed you out, there's so many of you, but we all know who Gang is, Do that, make links with other platforms, make links with other people who want to change things, and then we'll go forward and we'll get some organization. We do have time, but we could run out. And also, the Labour Party are just trying to be reform anyway. I mean, look at all of the things that are happening right now. So it's not just a build for later, it's a build for now. And you know what? We're relying on each other. And now what's good about that? There's each other. So didn't worry about it. Matty's quite rightly saying solidify the left. Definitely. Jay Hunt, I don't give a toss about the name on the Rosetta one. Hoping I want the left to be shouting and shaping the narrative in the future. We're on the same page, mate. And honestly, I just want to say it's a pleasure to be having this interchange with you again, because there was a time when I was really sick. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do this again, And the times that I was doing this, oh man, there's somebody at the door. Right, I'm going to put some music on. Oh, I think my partner's coming. Nightmare. Hold on, I'll put some music on. I'm just going to dip out for a minute. Just bear with us. Right, my mic was muted there. Fantastic. This is the first one back, isn't it? Would have been seamless if War Kid there hadn't knocked on the door. Right, comments. Let's go to your comments. I haven't even done any of the stuff I prepared this morning. If that's how it goes, fine. I'm literally just trying to get my voice back, quite literally. And also go about the start of the show. If you know, I'm gargling. It's a grim story. But it wouldn't be cow daily if I didn't bring the pain. Right. Matty. We're fighting for our effing lives, folks. I'm going to say effing going forward, because part of building the platform is lessen the swearing. There's definitely still going to be some, though. The Fash Beeb keeping lists, we're all on it. My friend, I'm definitely sure you're the same, because I know you. We've been on lists since I'm nearly 50, nearly 30 years. And I have been as well, because I was told. I might even tell that story. I'm not going to tell it today because it's a cool story, bro. And I might have told it before. And I want to get through some of this stuff. Jez, good that you're back and you smell less like cheese. Get it right, rotten cheese and fish for months. That's what it was. Whilst being fatigued and thinking that I could die here. It was bad. I looked into it, and apparently you're meant to get them cut off and taken away, and it's probably still going to take you 2 months to recover. It burst 10 to 12 months till you're fully clear of it, because it's stuck in my muscle still underneath. Horrible. My immune system's kicking its bits. If you lack context, go back to the start of the show. It's horrible, but you'll enjoy hearing it. I'm just going to have to put the Grot Bags references up because, we're definitely back if there's 2 Grot Bags references. Just absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Wonderful. I'm just going to back. Oh, there's some Damon Pigeons. Nice to see you. The next selection is going to be crazy and show in terms of Cambridge Analytica tactics. We got to move to offline engagement because we won't be in people's social media feeds. Damon, I know you contacted us. I know you also have a specific set of skills. I really think we should meet, or we can exchange emails. So it's cowdaily@proton.me, because I think if we combine forces, there's a lot of overlap with the master certificates I did with the BBC and AFP. And I really think we can come up with something that can really help, not just on the doorstep, but online, and get it data driven, and also give the people who are talking to reform voters on the doorstep an opportunity to have a way to debunk the absolute nonsense, we'll call it. I'm going to turn into Enid Blyton without the swear words. Absolute nonsense, Algernon, that the reform voters are spouting because of really quite advanced and heavily funded disinformation pipelines. You've never even heard that for like a long time, over a year. Disinformation pipelines. You might as well get it tattooed on you. Anymore? I've got to put that back in for old time's sake. I'm a serious journalist now, but I'm still going to roll the E's out. Like, Phil Sutherland, nice to see you, pal. Long COVID does remain how close we ought to be utterly effed. Folk don't like it. Horrible. I don't want it for any of yous. I know some of yous didn't realize until I put you right that you've got it. Get in touch if you or anybody else you know is suffering. And I might be able to help you supplements and things that I've done to get better. You're probably not going to like the fact you're going to have to give up alcohol. Honestly, the study about like allergies. So if you're feeling like your hangovers are lasting a long time, it's not just the drink. Your body just cannot deal with it anymore. So I haven't had the taste of alcohol past my lips for over a year. Before that, the year before, I probably had 3 pints. The year before that, probably 10. So I haven't had very much alcohol at all for about 3 years because I couldn't. But now I realize that life's so much better when you don't. So anyway, yeah, here's things that you don't want to hear. But if you want to be better, that's what you got to do. Rustino. If only it was that simple, the rich will stay living wherever they want. They'll change their residency to Monaco or the Isle of Man or whatever, and they'll move their money investments. There's no such thing as wealth tax that works, as shown in Spain, for example. The way you do it is via targeted specific wealth taxes, specifically on assets like land that cannot be physically moved offshore. I'm going to push back. I haven't got the study to hand. In terms of Britain, I did see something recently, but take it as sort of major, anecdotal, because I can't recall it and I don't have it here. But I'm pretty sure it says this, that the people who threaten to leave ultimately, like in the numbers they said they would, not even close, do not. It's the classic meme that they roll out. Oh, well, we'll go, and then all of their little like naughty dogs repeat that. I'm not calling you a naughty dog. On the reform side, they don't do it with any kind of like interrogation like you have. I'll pull that up and I'll see if I can do something on that in the future as like a short vid, because we're going to do them kind of things, as I've said, and do this properly for the first time. Couldn't do it last time. I just didn't have the energy to do all of that editing and whatever. I barely had the energy to do the show, to be honest, but we try. Probably shouldn't have done. Probably should have waited. Wealth tax and banning landlords is good stuff. Bit of bravery, bit of hope, indeed. Right, I'm just going to pull a couple of slides up, which are kind of relevant. Well, not kind of relevant, very relevant. So, just going to change this over. Got to stop sharing that one. See, I'm remembering. Excuse me, just have a little bit of water. Okay, so I posted this yesterday. The Green Party has voted for the effective abolition of private landlords at conference. That seemed to go down very well with people in the comments there. It was also Spot the Landlord. It's a banger of a thread. Just like multiple boomers spawning and coming at with just like, this is my retirement fund. And I'm like, do you think you should be charging ridiculous rents to people still in the workforce and taking most of their wages, which didn't happen to you when you were working? So you got to accrue wealth, lose that shit. So anyway, let's clarify what the Green Party resolution that passed at conference this past weekend says. And thanks to Elaine Francis, the South Tyneside Green Party, who was one of the proposers of this at conference. So well done. I'm proud of you, mate. You've really stepped up. And thanks for the clarification on this screenshot as well. So what it says is the Green Party's 5-step plan to abolish landlords. Introduce rent controls and abolish the right to buy. Number 2, tax the landlords. Move towards a land value tax levied on owners, not tenants. No exceptions. Business rates on Airbnbs and short lets. No exceptions. Double taxation for empty properties. Put national insurance on private rents. Number 3, remove finance for landlords. End buy-to-let mortgages. Number 4, provide finance to councils. Councils should be given the right to buy when landlords sell or property that hasn't been insulated to EPC rating C or fails to meet the decent home standard, or any property that's left empty for more than 6 months. With the total current tenancy discounted, tenants move to a truly affordable council tenancy. Government must change prudential borrowing requirements to allow councils to buy back and build new housing on a massive scale. And finally, number 5, establish a state-owned housing manufacturer to mass-produce high-quality mass council housing for local authorities and innovate on housing design and manufacture. Round of applause for me. It's important to remember with this as well, and a lot of the landlords absolutely coiling one off about this. These things take you into a negotiation. So imagine, if you will, the Greens hold the balance of power in a hung parliament, which is very achievable. I think those 39 seats where they came second at the last election, there's a hell of a lot more where they can win, and everything's to play for. So you take something like this into a negotiation, you win some of it, and finally we get some hope for people locked in the private rental spiral. Who can be vexed with that? Landlords. But how long has this stuff been going on? Let's have a look. Here's your boy Keir Hardie. What's that there on his original platform? No landlordism. Way back then, none. So this is an ongoing problem. And back to what Rustina was saying about tax the rich and all of that, there's a set of talking points designed to stymie any actual evolutionary type of debate around landlordism too. You know, about crashing the markets, all of that. It's like anything, if there's political will for stuff, like what we're really saying, if we're not prepared to do it, is 1, we're tired. 2, I'm going to project that tiredness. This isn't going to happen. That isn't hope. You know, this is me not being a happy clapper. As you know, I'll tell you what I think. And I think we can win and win really well. Win to a point where we can actually start to change things. But as I said earlier about that polling, right now, they're not the public stuff, the granular stuff that I've had sight of. It's bad. So voting isn't going to be enough. But that's all right, because the alternative's fascism. So that's a motivator, isn't it? I mean, as I say, I was in France when that happened, and it sharp motivated people. But the problem there was they put together the bloc of the left in a 36-hour meeting a couple of weeks before the election at the Green Party HQ in Paris. Now, that's clearly not data-driven. It's just throw it out to the winds and whatnot. So we need to do this in a data-driven way. And that's good. You know, we're already seeing here, talking to Damon there, we're going to talk. You know, we're going to form like Voltron with all our skills and experience, and everybody's got a part to play. And that's the move, I think. You know, it's fascism or bust. And I'm pleased about that, to be honest, because we've been tinkering around the edges for too much. It's quite clear what's occurring. We see it. I mean, Elon Musk and the money that's coming in that way, we've got to counter that. And we will, because I believe in you and I believe in me, and we keep hope alive. Right, a few more comments. Damon, email, look forward to speak more. Cool, mate. Might not be today, but it'll be in the next sort of 24, 36 hours, and we'll just see where that goes. And I'm very keen to get that moving. Nice one. Right. Who else? Phil is saying the rubbish I say on my local groups is insane. They really think that if they see it on Facebook, it's been fact checked. And that is a key point. We're going to build an army to rival the Israeli Hezbollah. And we're going in these groups and we're going to challenge it. And one thing I've learned from like doing social media and all of these things, it's rarely about the person you're talking to. You're probably not going to move the needle with them. But if they're like confident with their whole chest and saying all of the false talking points, then that's going to move the needle for some people who are viewing it, because the people who are reading are the majority by far. And I can tell you that because like I've been doing it a long time and people tell me this. And also you can see it in the analytics as well. Most people come along because they want to read it. And a lot of people say that they learn from all of yous in the comments and that kind of thing. So that's the jive. We're gonna do it. So Phil's saying, our last can have a wee drink now, but it's been 5 years of long COVID. Seriously, I just don't think it's even worth it. Honestly, I just like every time I do that, it just knocks us. Was saying next year as well, Senate election as me spook reform don't stand a chance of winning the majority, but the intercommunal shite they promote is a real issue here. Hear that, mate? I think it's a lad called Slaughter. I think that's his surname. He's projected to potentially win a seat. Tell me more. Like, is Plaid Cymru like forming a pact with the Greens? Is this going to potentially be a little like a model for what we're going to build towards? I'd like to know. Stephen is saying, never understood the threat of the rich leaving. If they created wealth here, then they would leave a gap for others to step up and create wealth. If they just inherited them, good riddance. Indeed, pal. Indeed. Matty's saying, what happened with Roman Abramovich shows what happens if the billionaire leaves, you can take it. Indeed. Right. John is saying, monopoly is good because it teaches that capitalism is bad. Every time the board gets flipped, another person joins our side. Great point. Damon, yes, it's all about the lurkers, always. JC, it's about the spectators. Indeed. Matty's saying he started cutting his hair and his clippers died. I've done that like too many times. Like you go out with a hat that blows off your head. It's a bad. You call that radio, give them a follow as well. Good people. They need to ban short, and when people in charge can make money on betting on things going bad, when they're in charge of things going bad, completely. Crypto as well. One of the big concerns I've got is reform have started to take crypto donations. And I'm going to say that may be a way of circumventing rules on taking international donations from the likes of the richest man in the world. Also, we've got to look at this as well. The Advance UK launch, which is adjacent to Musk. I want to see what they're up to here, and we want to watch what they're up to because it'll develop as it goes forward. And look, reform might have peaked. One of the things that I want to tell you about this granular data that I've had sight of is this. There's a big caveat in the report. And what that report says is that it's not accounting for the vast majority cohort of people who don't vote. I think it's something like over 20 million people out of the electorate. So a lot. Those are the people that we can inspire, and those are the wild cards. Now, I wasn't of the mind that it was given that, and I want to clarify my position. I don't think that should be the sole focus. I do acknowledge what people are saying around like some reform voters can shift, and there's some people who've been on the doorstep who told us that they say they'll either vote green or reform. So that's like an interesting cohort to observe and how people come to those conclusions. It's obviously like a kicking against the pricks thing because the reform has literally been made out due to TikTok amplification and whatever, which will get worse because Larry Ellison has just bought this. That's what we're dealing with. I mean, like, look, we'll just get it out. Like, it's going to be a hard slog at times, but also we'll win things if we form like Voltron. If we don't, keep whinging, whatever, we're absolutely screwed. And that's just how it is. Jez is saying, long time of the election, reform can implode in that time with a lot of help. Totally. I suspect, given all these scandals coming out and Darren Grimes, when the time's right, I've got some banger Darren Grimes stories about what's happening at Durham, but I just can't right now. But honestly, they're getting clipped up and he's getting tagged. Because that's how we do it. We're going for them. Front foot. Was it saying there's no word of a pact yet, but I'm rural and Welsh Greens agri policy alienated many potential allies. Okay. Those potential allies are falling for the reform rhetoric again. Right. So how do we turn that around? I think we need to. Phil, it's saying 9 people in a bus, 3 people vote top drive off a cliff, 2 people vote to go for ice cream, 4 don't vote, they all die. Use this analogy for a mate and it only made sense to him. Cool, man. Right. Just a shortish one a day. We've got 5 minutes left. So in the Time Honored Tradition, we're going for a hoisty genre story, and these are tales of madness in the Northeast. It does intersect with the reform stuff. I want to point something out as well. Hold on a minute. I need to just share this. So honestly, this is something else. So I'll see if I have this it's up. Right. Man banned from park for killing swan. Some background here. Your man Farage just started running that those lies about immigrants that Donald Trump was running. I think it was about the Haitian community in one of the cities. I can't remember, saying that they were eating people's pets. Farage recently was called out, and I think it was even the authorities said there's no evidence of any immigrants in the UK killing swans to eat them. So, bringing it back to about 5 miles from where I grew up, right? Man banned from park for killing swans. Shouts to Gemma Sherlock. She must have been laughing writing this. This is with the BBC. Man has been banned from park for a year after admitting killing a swan. Michael Whittle of Stanley, County Durham, that is so local, has been barred from entering Riverside Park, Chesley Street, after he pleaded guilty to killing the bird on the 30th of July and using threatening behaviour or words to harass, alarm or cause distress. Appearing at Peterlee Magistrate Court on Friday, the 20-year-old was also fitted with an electronic tag and told he can't enter Rotary Way and Chesterburn and Chesley Street for 12 months. He was also ordered to complete 20 days of rehabilitation as well as a 9-month alcohol treatment. At the time, Durham police thanked members of the public who tried to intervene during the attack, which happened at about 6:30 at night. Right. Here's what isn't being reported, and I don't know if I just haven't done any interrogation work or whatever. Eagle-eyed sleuths have turned him over online, and he's just absolutely fash as reform this, reform that. So the irony there being, reform voters are killing swans. I assume he wanted to eat it, or worse, because we know what happened in Sunderland with the seagull. Don't know if he's a reform voter or not. If you remember from the last time we were around, that was up there with the pinnacle of hoisty stories. For me, this is indicative of what I know from the good people of Stanley. Shouts to the County Durham Massive and concert. So anyway, it's things like this, though. If on the doorstep, and this is going to happen, or online, there's going to be people going, immigrants kill swans. Send them that. Get in touch with us if you want some of the stuff that were turned over about this kid. This is what I mean about, like, we do a homework. As you call that radio quite rightly points out, your dad God's ponds. And Matty's saying Swan Nons gets his arm broke off Swan. That's probably where this is going. I'm wondering where Farage is at night. He doesn't seem to be in his constituency. Michael Dines is in. Good morning. You've just caught at the end. So I'm sorry about that. So anyway, any last things? Pop them in the comments. Just going to have a quick drink of water, stick the music on. If there's an out, I'll get off. If there's anything you want to talk about, then we'll do it. Right, Slaz asks, we'll just pull it up. On a different note, have you had any issues using your meds in public? I've had one, the rest were nonplussed or happy. that it's available for those that benefit from it. I haven't, and just for context, for people who don't know, both Slaz and I went through the process of Curaleaf recently to get medical marijuana prescription, and it's a game changer. The quality's amazing. You can choose the strains in consultation with your consultant at first, and then afterwards I've met a clinician, both lovely people. And I really felt heard, and it's been a massive game changer. And I'm going to tell you why. Obviously, I told you my sleeping was up a height with everything that's been going on. I've been recovering. Since I got my prescription, I went from waking up in the night up and down, because I'm also clearing waste from my PP. So I'm having to get up and wee and blow my nose, and it's horrific, and my head hurts and the sinuses and all that. Since I've had this, sleeping 8 hours, GMO cookies, that's the nighttime strain. You will be ripped away to the netherworld. And I'm getting 7-8 hours a night. And it's probably why somebody was saying I'm looking healthy. And that's been for the last sort of 6-7 weeks, for the first time in years. Probably still have like one night a week. Last night, actually, but it was cool because it was the full moon. So I was up charging me sigils. Not even joking. So I've had no bother, Slaz. No bother at all. But also, I don't like throw it in people's faces. If I need to go off and have a little vape, I'll be doing it after this. I'll go and do it just around the corner, like I used to do when I would smoke a doob. So now, check this though. Check this. Like, everybody's gonna love this who loves the weed as much as me and Slaz, and of course Matty, and probably most of you. I can take 2 ounces across international borders. I've got a letter from the clinic in Harley Street, and it specifically puts the strains, all of that. I've got proper medical prescription. As long as you've got, like, in the original packaging, your prescription sticker on it. You don't have to declare it, but if you're pulled, you just pull up the letter on your phone and go, get out of jail free card, no trafficking charges for me. So I have done this. I've took 2 ounces through the Channel Tunnel recently. Meow. And also, I'd just like to shout out to people like Matty, myself, and others for years and years and years campaigning for this. Mostly Matty, like, I've done my bit, like, as well. Others as well, Slaz. I'm just pleased. I'm also really pleased for Slaz as well, because it's really helping him as well. I've never heard anybody really say anything bad about it. There was one lad in the comments, and I respect and appreciate that it's not for everybody, but for me, fantastic. Just, I mean, you know, people are saying it on us as well. When you get sleep, you heal quicker. That's why I'm here now. I hadn't planned to come back till next year, really, but we're here. So part of that's down to getting the sleep off the doob. Yesterday, for like the first sort of month or two, I was getting a lot of spasms and things like that from the back. Just got rid of them. I've got a strain for during the day called High Silver, which is like 100% sativa. It's basically, you know, old school Super Silver Haze from the 90s. Just that, rebranded. And it's cheap, man. It's like £59 for 10 grams. Like, I remember, like, in Spain, a couple of dispensaries, cannabis clubs, and even they're not doing it as cheaply. GMO cookies, £10 a gram, normally double that. Brilliant, fantastic. I've got an app, just live it at the door. I can traffic it across state lines. Fantastic. It's all you want. Not feeling like a criminal. Brilliant. And also, they talk about, like, things like this, you know, from mindset and the setting that you're in. I realize a lot of the paranoia that comes from it for some people is just around the legality, because it just amplifies how you're feeling. So you're always a bit like, oh, don't feel like that at all, because I just go, get out of jail free card. Bye-bye. See you, busies. It's a good time. Phil's saying, I'd end up in the clink, just get checked by security just for turning up. I don't know where that is, but if it was an international border, you find me a letter. Matty's fruit salad every time. Jez, nice. He's also one of the green gang. I'm not talking politics this time. Cheers, fam one in the old days. It was a pleasure. There's a few people popped up as well. Always a good crack as well. It wasn't just about the doob. He hides in his smuggler's pocket. Dave, Slaz, delivery day is like Christmas. Me and Slaz exchanging like messages, send each other screenshots of where the courier is and that, because it's just through like DFD or something, just like any other parcel. They just drop it off in a box. Shall I do a show and tell? Just want us to show you? Like, let us know if you want us to show you. The box is just over there. Hold on, I'll go and get it, right? And I'll leave you with this, and you can see that absolutely. I'm not going to show you the flower, right? Or I'll show you the packaging because it's mad. Just bear with us. I'll stick the music on. I'll come back. Hold on. Yeah, I was just saying it comes in a box. And I've been read off for a good reason. There you go. It comes in boxes. So that's what it looks like. That's the really strong one, like 30%. Just absolute guarantee. I've had it before. It's a concentrate from a place in Spain. But it's like a Spanish genetic thing. So like they've given it to the world there. And then there's just a variety of other ones. Royal Moby, also a daytime one, high silver, and then I've got like an intermediate one called Zuki's, which is £5 a gram. I've seen that in dispensaries and elsewhere for like more than that, man. Ridiculous. So anyway, see what else. What a time to be alive. It's amazing, isn't it? Through an app, couriers. I just blew my mind. Can't even believe it still. Matty's saying, I've just shown telling the grow room is the future. We could do a little video actually. We'll just mask up and that. Oh, man. Great. Hold on. Is the music still on? Oh, bloody is. Headphones back in. We're back to the teething troubles. It's been a while. I'm actually quite pleased because honestly, it was like trying to get this sorted beforehand with a new setup was not easy, but because it's been a while. But we're back. So anyway, if you want to help support, patreon.com/cowdaily. Also links in description for PayPal if you want to make a one-off donation to the work. Be really helpful to build the platforms ahead of the elections, whatever. The horrific fly on top of me laptop. Get away. It was one of them ones where it's going, I'm going to come and bite you up. You know, the autumn ones where they're dying and they're just like, I want a meal and you're it. So that's the one. But patreon.com/cowdaily. Anything else, pals? Music's still on like an infomercial. Class. I might actually clip that for the crack. Right then. Massey's saying we bought cookies up from the south. They can. Spanish business, Spanish things. Like going forward, when there's legality, I could definitely see us pivoting into the weed market. I mean, you know, yourself have talked about it. I think it's more likely than it isn't because more and more people need to have this health win. There's certain terpenes and whatever you go into that granular detail with your consultant, and it's helping. Even there's a terpene which helped clear my ears in Zuki's. Seriously, I researched it, had a blast, 5-10 minutes. My ears just went, they're just clearer and faster. It's amazing. Amazing. So as I was saying, no dodgy ethics with it too. Great stuff. Right. Been beautiful to spend some time with yous. Just going to go back and do the things. And one thing I want to leave you with is this one. I just need to put this up on the screen for you. So this is from the Buckinghamshire Disability Service, who are doing sterling work by still interrogating the data on COVID. There's a COVID wave happening. It's been happening. and then it's really bad. And this is true around the world. The new Stratus strain's really not good. None of it is, man. Just mask, stop. I'm going to keep saying it. And I know people didn't want to fucking hear it, but I actually love you as humans, and it would break me heart if you ended up like me, like how I was. Seriously, people don't even know how hard it is to not be able to think, whilst not understanding why your body's breaking. It's horrendous. Anyway, Matty's quite ready saying limonene. It is indeed that one. It is indeed. That's the terpene. And there's me sigils charging in the moonlight last night. I think that's a really nice place to leave it. I just want to, in a totally unconnected way, just say it's really been quite pleasing to see people in Newcastle who are not nice people start to get their just desserts. Because you deserve it. And long may it continue. Couldn't leave it without that, could I? Because I'm on all the smoke. Going forward, it's all the smoke time. It's fascism or bust on every level, everywhere. And I'm so fucking here for this now. I'm better. Well, probably at 90%, but good as, like, you're just going to have to cope with this, like, being a bit, like, bunged up on one side for another couple of weeks. But what are you going to do? So plan going forward. I'm going to start with Tuesdays and Thursdays just to, like, sort of ease myself back in. The goal is obviously cow daily, 5 days a week. I'm going to do the building the platforms properly, do the editing, and this is where you come in. I need your help to share that about, like Snowy quite kindly did in the People's Republic of Liverpool group. Things like that, just help build the buzz and let people know that it's happening, but also just build that YouTube up, because elections, we need all the platforms we can get, because some will get zapped. I might get zapped, you know what I mean? But if you strike us down, we'll become more powerful than you possibly imagine, because there's loads of us. So if you see sharing other people's stuff like I've done this week, please follow them. That's the plan. Absolutely love every single one of you, and thank you to everybody who's checked in once again. This has been long, as it's long COVID. Before that, I recovered from spinal surgery. Also long. Recovered from a car, like being knocked off my bike in the middle of that by a van. Well, yeah, though. So, see you later. All the smoke, vegan smoke, vegan smoke, vegan smoke. Is Ebenezer smoke? Don't even know where the outro video is. Here's the closing titles. Let's see if this works. Catch you later. Absolutely love you, though. Just buzzing. It's like a second life. Class. I didn't die. And not only that, I got better. Can't believe it. I was dying in bed. Fucking yes.